So we're kind of in middle school. So like, what's your faith like at this point? Do you have a prayer life? Do you, obviously you're surrounded by Catholicism. Are you kind of practicing on your own at all in any conscious way?
That's a good thought, because while I was absorbing it and it was around me, it was more informational and not as transformational at this point, because I just wasn't there yet, I guess. I remember going to confession.
And do you know you speak in catchphrases? It was informational, not transformational.
I do speak in catchphrases. I admit that, yes.
The difference between ordinary and extraordinary.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
You're in this community.
I remember, yes, I do. I remember when I think some of the early days of the conversion experience, my mom and dad would take us to confession, but it was like, man, my brother and I didn't want to go. It was awkward, uncomfortable. We would fight. And there would be times where we just wouldn't, and I don't know if my dad would or not, but, it was more like my mom's conversion led to a lot of my dad's conversion and vice versa, all kind of at the same time. My mom was watching EWTN so much that I couldn't watch Nickelodeon because she was recording Jeff Cavins and Scott Hans talking instead. So I was like, all right, I guess I'll watch Jeff Cavins instead of Rugrats or SpongeBob. Though I can still quote SpongeBob like a crazy person. But anyway, it was not something that I was personally living out.
Sure.
I remember Mom was praying with us before school every morning, and we would always pray the St. Michael prayer. I remember my dad was an air traffic controller throughout my life at Standiford Tower here in Louisville, and he would have the night shift. So my mom would kind of barricade the door because, it was just me and the kids, and Dad was at work, and we'd sleep with Mom, and we would pray a rosary together. I remember a lot of these things being things that I would do, but it was more because of my family. My grandma taught me First Communion. She was my First Communion teacher. She was my vacation Bible school teacher, and she eventually became my confirmation sponsor. I would say my faith, personally lived, began really to come to a head with confirmation onward. And that's, I think, really where the visceral details of my family story and my personal story kind of start to make sense, and it kind of starts from that point forward. But it's an incredible journey that I don't think I could have ever received if I hadn't been open enough to the grace of the Holy Spirit that I received on my confirmation onward.